welcome back to my kitchen. This week we've been asked to do side dishes. Probably of all the 4 weeks, this is one that's a little bit more challenging to me. I love making appetizers, I love main dishes, desserts, awesome. But side dish has been a little bit of a challenge. So I decided to take a side dish that my family absolutely loves and Philly it up. One of my family's favorite side dish is pierogies. Pierogies are, if you've never had them before, they're a whipped potato stuffed into a pasta shell. And they come in mini sizes, big sizes. They come stuffed with cheddar cheese, onion, sour cream, whatever. You can buy them at your local grocery store. But that's one of my family's favorites. So I decided to Philly-ize it and put Philadelphia cream cheese and make a sauce to go over it. Another one of my family's favorite is Mediterranean foods. We love the olives and tomatoes and scallions and capers and olive oil. So I have come up with a sauce to put over the pierogies, which I like to call Club Med pierogies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pierogies that I've already boiled, and I boil them to the package. It's about 5 to 7 minutes depending on what size pierogies you buy. And I've already boiled them, and I'm going to get my pan ready to be able to fry them up in a pan. And I like to put onions and butter and fry them up that way. That's the way my family likes it, but I'm going to show you how to even put a topping on top of that, even make it that much better. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in my pan. That's heating up. Okay. And I have a half of a large onion sliced up. I do it thin because that adds the flavor. So I've got my butter in my pan and it's melting nicely. And I am going to let that cook up. I'm actually going to get them real brown, almost caramelize them. Before they're real dark, I'm going to add the pierogies. I'm going to fry them up. So now I have my, I got my butter heated up. I have my onions in there, and now I'm going to add my pierogies. They've already been boiled, and again, I usually use the larger size pierogies. This time I bought the minis, so that'll be really fun for the kids. They'd like that. So you just take your pierogies that have already been cooked and boiled. We like to pan fry our pierogies because it creates a little bit of a firmer texture to the pierogies. You can serve them boiled. My kids love them pan fried with the onions. Now I'm going to go over and I'm going to start my Mediterranean sauce. Okay, this sauce is going to be, it's a half a cup of tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, half a cup of chopped scallions. I forgot to mention that we chop them. I like to chop them not fine, but not rough, but just kind of like in the middle. A half a cup of green olives, and you can use, any kind of olives you'd like. Everything's always a half a cup, but for the red onion, I'm only going to use a quarter of a cup because I've already used a half a cup of scallions, and that's a lot of onions there. And then I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of capers, and then 2 cloves of garlic that I put in my garlic press. So I got that. And I am going to mix that up. And you can see this is a beautiful color. This is what we normally put on fish or chicken, mainly fish in our family, but because, again, I wanted to bring some of that Mediterranean flavor into the pierogies. Wait till you find out what we're going to do with this sauce. It's not going to be that pretty color that you see right there. I'm excited to show you what we're going to do. So I have my saucepan over here, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to saute my vegetable Mediterranean medley in olive oil and garlic. I have garlic in here. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this. So I got my pans heated up with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to add that to here. This is going to go into my Philly cream sauce that's going to go over our pierogi. Okay, so I got my Mediterranean vegetable medley just going real nice here. The smell of this when it's cooking is awesome. You can smell the onions, the olives, the garlic. It's very fragrant. You don't want to cook this to death. You want to cook the tomatoes, you know, just enough to kind of reduce them a little bit, make a little bit of, they're actually making a little bit of a sauce, but you don't want to lose the tomato entirely. So that looks just about right. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to actually come over here. I'm going to reserve a tiny bit of this mixture, not a tiny bit, maybe about a half of a cup. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a puree of our Mediterranean vegetables. So I'm going to put it in a little mini food processor. You can use, if you don't have a mini food processor, you can use a blender. Okay, I think we're done with this. This is where you want this finely pureed, but you don't want it liquefied. So this looks really nice. It's still a little chunky. You do lose a little teeny bit of that color with all the pretty vegetables, but we're going to actually bring that back in a minute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come over to the stove, and I have my main ingredient here is our awesome Philadelphia cooking cream. I'm going to use the regular because I've got all these Mediterranean flavors and I want to make sure that I bring the flavors of that out. Okay. This is a 10-ounce package of the cooking cream, and what I love about the cooking cream, I've used Philadelphia cream cheese for years, but this cooking cream is creamy and it's so easy to work with. Okay. Just makes it creamier. I'm going to add half a cup of milk. And then I'm going to add my puree to my Philadelphia cream cheese. Got my cream cheese, got my milk, and Mediterranean mixture, and that's it. And you want to heat this up. Okay, so I've got my pierogies ready. I'm going to grab a platter. Come on over here. I'm going to place my pierogies on my platter. So you're going to serve at your table. Whoever you're serving it to. Look at that. They're nicely golden brown. Okay, that. I'm going to grab my Philly cream cheese sauce that I made with my Mediterranean vegetable. That's going to be so awesome. It's a little, I left it, you can puree it a little bit finer, but I left it a little chunky. Pour that over our pierogies. Now, depending on how much sauce you want, that's actually perfect. There's a little bit left over. If you want to add it to some pasta, save it for tomorrow for dinner, breakfast, dip some bagels in it, toast, whatever you want. You can do that with that. And then I have my, remember I told you to reserve a little bit of the of our Mediterranean vegetable there. I'm just going to sprinkle that on the top for color. Look at how beautiful that looks. The tomatoes and the capers and the scallions. It's just really very colorful. This is what's nice about these mini pierogies, is I can actually take a whole pierogi and put it in my mouth instead of cutting it. Got a pierogi. That is good. You can taste the garlic, the onions, the scallion, the olives. So many different flavors put together. Jenny Monroe, out from Orlando.